Hello and welcome to MindShare TV's Future of AI series, where we explore trends, technology, and human stories shaping the future of learning, work, life. I'm your host, Robert Martellacci, founder of the MindShare Learning Media Company and MindShare Workspace. Today, we're kicking off this special series on AI and navigating the complexities and taking a deeper dive on what it means to us as we embrace it. In, with our work and learning environments. I'm delighted to welcome Sunil Sheoran, who is a valued member of the MindShare Workspace community. Sunil is a highly respected management consultant specializing in strategy and operations with deep expertise as a business transformation subject matter expert. We're honored to have him here at the Workspace. He's worked with across organizations, industries to reimagine processes. I know he's been very immersed in pharma and to navigate the complexities of digital and AI-enabled change. So, it's great to have you here on the program today.
Thank you, Robert.
Fascinating times.
Fascinating times.
We've spent a lot of time talking about AI and what it means to us in our world of work and personal lives. You're such a deep thinker. Sunil has a undergrad and master's in engineering and a PhD, ABD, and spends a lot of time in the United States. And you have a wealth of knowledge, and this is a new technology as new technologies emerge, but it's different, and it is complex, and you've been studying it intimately over the last several months. Talk to me about how you see it fitting into your ecosystem and what it means for the future of innovation and the way we live and work.
Well, thank you, Robert. Thanks for having me on the podcast. Uh, I like to think of most of the stuff in top down and bottom up simultaneously. So if we think of top down, we need to think in terms of all the technologies that are developing now. The technology S curve, people talk a lot about it. AI is one of the biggest ones that's driving it. But at macro level, when I'm thinking in terms of implementation of these technologies, I think from the lens of the individual, the organizations, and the government. So it depends which lens you want to double click on. So once you get the big picture, then you want to think from your own context. So from big picture perspective, for employees, my base hypothesis is we are going to be double productive at the minimum. So if
Wow.
you're going to be 2 times more productive, that means we'll have 50% of our time free. What are we going to do with that time? That means we might need 50% less people. Now, if you do
Right.
it 3x or more, then it becomes even more. That's at an individual level. Same way, employers have a different challenge in terms of bigger companies, small companies, and governments will have different challenge if a lot more people are unemployed and whatnot.
Right.
So where I sit in terms of consulting, um, practice building. So from my practice building, I have codified it that there are certain things that change and certain things don't change. So things that don't change is you eventually get paid for delivering value. That never changes. It's a different way of operating with AI. So I see myself more of these days uh, getting work done with machine labor. So I'm the orchestrator of machine labor. At the
Right.
same time, we need to make sure it's trusted. So it's the governance uh, or the governor of the trust as well with
Right.
that. So that's the big shift in consulting. That's how I would structure the big picture in my context.
Fascinating. So let's talk about human and AI collaboration. It's a blend that we've got. We're going to be working alongside AI agents. It's already happening. Many fear AI will replace jobs, but you've spoken about the transformation being human centered and what skills and mindset will workers need to thrive alongside AI as you are entering, people are entering the workforce into organizational charts. And you showed me and you've
Yeah.
talked about that, how you're going to have a team that's, AI agents and people like that. that requires a little finessing and
Exactly.
deep understanding of leadership, evolving leadership roles.
Absolutely. So yeah, you might very well have your org chart in which you might have your subordinates as an AI agent or your manager as AI agent. So that would definitely be a different setup. But in general, I say there is two or three big shifts that you want to watch out. One thing is the value concept does not change. So we individuals have to keep thinking in terms of how do I add value. Now that value requires you might have to upgrade your technology skills. So that means you need to have cognitive skills to utilize AI effectively. And the second thing is polishing your own behavioral skills or elevating the game because your behavioral skills, human skills are going to be more important. So once you merge your elevated human skills as well as you understand the cognitive skills, how you use the tools, your proficiency in that, one big shift that's going to bother people or is bothering even now. I heard a data somewhere 50%, 58% of the people in the last 2 years who have lost jobs, it is taking them at least double the time to find a new job.
Wow.
And
Wow.
one of the big reasons is 58% of those people have eventually moved on to a completely new profession, not just a job change,
Right.
occupation. So what that means is people are saying this is the time when AI is forcing us to think about our identity. People think of meaning of work. So that kind of
Right.
work when your mind has to adjust that what is the meaning of work or how it connects with my identity, that takes time to calculate things in your mind. So it is shifting your mindset
Right.
around how work fits within your whole life at the same time then building some technology skills about elevating the game
Right.
and then elevating your human skills and then thinking of wherever I'm going to fit in the game, how do I add maximum value?
There's no option but to be upskilling, life learning. It's
absolutely.
not lifelong. We talk about life learning. You don't just finish high school or go to university or college and then you're set for life. I'm on I call it my third or fourth career. I started in sport management and now I'm in learning technology and operating a co-working space as an entrepreneur. So
Absolutely.
it's that growth mindset that's absolutely paramount and essential. Let's talk about small and medium size and big enterprise. Do you see a difference in how small and medium sized businesses versus large organizations are approaching AI adoption? What lessons can be shared across those sectors?
See,
Yeah,
big organizations have the privilege of deep pockets, so they hire very smart people. But at the same time, they have disadvantage of big bureaucracy.
and being agile.
Oh yeah, so they
Right.
cannot be that agile. Small players have the burden of too many variables to run the operation, so they can't focus very easily, and they're
Yeah.
always so they can't be too long-term thinkers. So in that sense, uh, small business have the advantage of being agile,
Right.
obviously. So smart people are definitely gonna leapfrog and would do much better
Right.
if they have the clarity. That's one of the key themes I always have. That's actually the name of the company, Mike.
Yeah, Clarium. I
comes
love
from
the
word-
brand. Yeah.
It comes from the word clarity. So if you know the path ahead, then you can execute faster as a small business. In big business, it's just a structural change, and that just is gonna take time. More regulated the industry is, more mobile the industry is. It's gonna take a little bit more.
Right. And
Longer.
and pharma's been one of your key
Right.
focus areas.
Pharma and CPG are the two industries.
CPG. So looking ahead, future outlook, and we're going to have another conversation about AI going forward. What do you see as the biggest transformation drivers, challenges for the workplace and for people in general? My question is in the next 5 years in terms of AI sustainability, hybrid models, new talent expectations, but I think 5 years is looking too far out.
Yeah.
Let's say 2 years. How's
yes,
that?
Yes, yes. So yeah, absolutely, 5 years we can't go too far, but
No.
but at the same time, some of these we've been hearing for the last 30 years we're going to run out of oil, but still we have gas.
Right.
So sometimes things don't pan, and so let us say technology is going to do everything it promises, but still, so technology can have an exponential learning curve, but human beings don't have exponential learning curve. So we still have the linear learning curve. It's going to
Right.
take time for us to absorb everything that's coming.
100%.
So the best thing I can say is, if you are an individual, you kind of focus on the previous things we talked about, like you know exactly where the work fits in your game plan. If you're a leader, then you think about yourself. At the same time, you also want to think how you're going to make your team most effective. So are you
Absolutely.
truly going to be an enabler in this new age,
Right.
or you're going to make a mess? Leaders can very easily kind of be counterproductive if they're
Right.
not aligned with what's the
Well,
latest in the
you
game.
know, this I subscribe to the notion that the smartest person in the room is the room.
Yeah,
You know, when you
absolutely.
make those collective decisions, and particularly around this transformation, we're hosting a learning technology conference on AI in partnership with the University of Toronto, Serendipity. It's the home of the pioneer of AI, Dr. Hinton, and he talks about this being the second industrial revolution that we're in today.
Absolutely.
It's not the fourth. You know, people have tried to say, "Oh, we're now on the fourth." No, this is truly a game changer, as was the Industrial Revolution back in the UK in the 1800s or thereabouts. So, thoughts on that? You know, on where we're at and what how people fit into it. You know, I use AI to for efficiencies, to enhance my work and flow and streamline, and it just, you know, we're still dabbling with it, but we're finding ways to save time and resources. So and productivity, right? And so and then if we're planning a trip away somewhere, we leverage AI to do that. So it's very robust, but it's important for people to play and use it as a bit of a playground and explorer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think in terms of two separate buckets,
Yeah.
very clear two separate buckets. One is the cognitive ability when you have decision making and you need strategic thinking. So, and the second is the execution.
Right.
And AI can help in both of them. So, as an example, I rarely have any meetings in the morning because I block that time as my thinking time. So,
Brilliant.
and in that thinking time, I'm really going deep into coming up with some solution to something that I'm facing.
Right.
So that's the focused thinking time. So as things become more and more noisy, you want to think about how you're going to carve out time for quality thinking and do some deep work. At the same time, you can enhance the execution, as you were saying, improving the processes and workflow and make
Right.
things more efficient. So yeah, it helps in both dimensions.
Fascinating. Well, looking forward to the next session. Are we going to talk about agentic AI next? What's next in our series? What do you think will be?
That's a good point. I mean, I guess we need a little bit of a chat, and we can decide. But agentic AI is a good thing. We can develop.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
well, with that, I want to thank you, Sunil, for sharing your insights and expertise on the future of AI and how we live and work. And is this being our inaugural episode here at the MindShare Workspace? It's clear that AI brings disruption and it also creates enormous opportunities. And with a combined human-centered leadership approach, I think is really important in terms of smart strategy. To our viewers and listeners, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for with us at the MindShare Workspace and learning for conversations shaping the future of work and learning. And until next time, my name is Robert Martellacci. Stay healthy, stay safe, and keep the learning curve steep.